See if that pays off, because we are ready for game number 1 between No Tomorrow and teammate Tomb of the Spider Queen. We'll see you in there.
All right, so in the blue trunks is going to be No Tomorrow. And we see here, as we bring it up, Casanova is going to be on the Thrall. ETC is going to be played by Urho. Jason is going to be playing Vala. Tiger JK is going to be on Malfurion. And then Talking Trees, in fact, is going to be playing on whatever, Zarya, sorry.
And in the red, the members of teammate. Buds will be playing Ariel. Glaurung playing Medivh. Justing playing Diablo. On Gul'dan is Yoda. And rounding it out, Prismaticism will be playing Ragnaros. T8P, the P stands for Prismaticism.
Okay, so we're going to look at the keys here, keys to the series for No Tomorrow, what we think they need to be able to focus on to really win this game. And it's avoid Glaurung all-in comps. Guess what? They didn't even have to try and avoid it. It just happened. It's going to be focusing on the team fight. I really do think that getting out macroed is something that Glaurung can really easily do. That's a shot calling that we brought up earlier.
Yeah, it almost seems like focusing on not letting Glaurung have his comps comes into some of the games or the maps that teammate likes even more about. Jason needs to make plays. I have been saying this for a long time. I think that Jason is quietly one of the most underrated players in North America. His flexibility, pair that with how much he can change his playstyle depending on which hero he's on, and I just think Jason's a fantastic player, and maybe time to step up and be the playmaker that this team needs.
Very much, I agree with you. I think Jason has been a very standout player, and I think it would really help them if to win the series if he managed to make those plays. But for now, stun is going to happen. Root is a follow-up as well. Yoda's in a pretty tough spot. He does get the heal there from Buds to be able to keep him up. The power of Ariel when she has somebody to, you know, produce that hope for her.
I hype up Jason, and then he goes into the first game of their first match using the pleb horse. This is how he repays me.
Unforgivable. But then good root again. A little bit late, though, there coming out from Tiger JK. But we're talking about, you know, underestimated players for a long time. I've hyped Tiger JK. I genuinely think mechanically he is a pretty standout player from the support role. Not necessarily ever had an overly dominant performance for him, his teams. He's never really made a huge name of himself, but he does a very good job of, you know, cleanses here, timings of his heroics, things that, the small things that really add up for a support.
Yeah, a lot of people, including myself, including Dread and Note, have high hopes for No Tomorrow, that they may even be able to break into the top 4 teams of North America, because there are so many standout players who've been in the scene for a long time and wavering in the top 8. Add the addition of Casanova, and that may just be the breaking point for them. These rotations have been pretty good. Glaurung has to use a portal to get away from the rotation of all of No Tomorrow, minus Casanova, who's been 1v1ing in the bottom lane versus Ragnaros.
Yeah, Casanova's done a pretty good job of keeping Ragnaros under control. With this poke, his timing on his harass, the rotation is actually happening. Ragnaros, it will be falling down in the bottom lane with 3-man rotation. Very well done from No Tomorrow, and Casanova with that bait.
Glaurung's come in though, so nobody's going to be missing out on lane soak, and Casanova has to go back to heal up. So in that respect, both teams have to send somebody back for a little bit. No immediate man advantage on the field.
This is very well done so far. 23 gems are going to be turned in here for teammate, and 45. Now 21 is going to be turned in, 30 in the hands of No Tomorrow. And even though it seems like teammate was controlling a bit in the rotations, No Tomorrow is slowly gaining the upper hand here over teammate. And I do think that the composition, again, of No Tomorrow is just very well rounded and can snowball this game out of control if they manage to get this early turn-in and pressure against teammate. Glaurung still's not even going to be able to hit his level 7 Master's Touch to try and, you know, being a harass monster, and it doesn't really snowball until 13. And Tomb's a game that can get out of control pretty quick.
It is one that you can snowball if you play your cards right. Team 8 living up to what we talked about with some unique talent choices. It's not actually Yoda this time. It is Justine, who picked up Speed Demon. If he gets slowed or stunned or rooted, then he gets some extra movement speed, but has to give up from the shadows, which is the extra stun, the extra range that you get for Shadow Charge, along with pairing it with Bulwark.
There's no power slide for a couple more seconds here. Urho was trying to get body blocked. I love that. Buds, even as a support, was like, nah, I got this. I'll try and choke him back. Unable to do so, though. 47 have been turned in again here for No Tomorrow, and only 23 for Team 8. There's going to be the combo. 2 CCs stacked on top of one another. Not the synergy you want to see from these new teams there, No Tomorrow specifically. But the turn-in is really the main focus here. Whoever manages to get that could, again, just get it out of control. The clear that sits on the side of No Tomorrow is very scary.
Matt, there's only a few more gems needed, and Airho looks like he'll be able to get that scot-free. First turn-in, first web weavers of the game for No Tomorrow. Glaurung not in position to stall that out, but there is Ragnaros, there is Gul'dan, so this shouldn't be too difficult of a defense to have for teammate as long as they don't lose people here.
Yeah, we'll see how well No Tomorrow is going to be able to make these rotations and decision-making now that we see them with a map objective. Priority seems to be in the mid lane. Good combo there. Glaurung's not going to be able to get into his portal. Barely will be able to get out there. You saw Urho saving his knockback and then the roots as well, but it wasn't enough. Glaurung escapes barely.
And Arrow even picked up loudspeakers to increase the range of that knockback, hoping to keep him out. Oh, Detainment Strike from Buds. Very good to knock Arrow in the wall. Almost going down.
Oh!
One last Fell Flame wasn't quite enough to get the kill by Yoda, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, that was very close there. And good playmaking. That's the second thing we've already seen from Buds. You know, it hasn't worked out either time, but he is doing his best from the support role to try and punish any mistake that he sees out of Urho. And we'll see if that continues through this matchup. But now we do see No Tomorrow has made the rotation from mid. They're trying to aid the Web Weaver up top. 3/4, half level actually more accurate. Level advantage after the first turn-in, and 10 is going to be picked up pretty soon for these teams.
Solid job by both teams. Towers were down from No Tomorrow, but Team 8 didn't let anything spiral out of control for them. The only issue now is that No Tomorrow are very close to having heroic abilities and pretty close to getting another turn-in too, so that might be a time that they can't stop that. They need to soak as much as they can, use whatever safe poke, safe stop they can. Somebody like Glaurung who can hopefully throw out Arcane Rifts, but at the same time, he doesn't want to be too aggressive since he is still stacking Master's Touch.
All right, so when it comes to the heroics here for No Tomorrow, Mosh Pit was the choice on the side of ETC. Everybody else is pretty norm. Urho scouted out that night camp, but wasn't able to move in there. Other than that, it was Rain of Vengeance, but it's not that big of a deal. I guess it's not that surprising to see that picked up. It also can enable the ETC Mosh. I love playmaking Valas. Whenever a Rain of Vengeance comes in as a primer, it's so rare to see an assassin be able to do that. But hopefully we'll be able to see that here in this game.
Well, it is Jason playing Vala. See if they can do that. Looking at all the heroic abilities, the rest of the heroic abilities, no lava waves yet. It seems like Sulfurous Smash is the large favorite. And Leyline Seal from Medivh. Another beautiful Detainment Strike from Buds gets Airho out of a scary place for the rest of teammates.
Wow, very aggressive portal's gonna isolate Buds there as he moves very deep. That's a 3-man Mosh Pit though. Good Fear and Horrify will be able to interrupt that though. APOC has been used as well. Nobody has fallen quite yet in this fight, but everybody's health bars on the side of Team 8 seem to be a little bit lower here than No Tomorrow. And actually, that's not the case. No Tomorrow did fall significantly lower, but Team 8 kind of gave him some breathing room here.
No Tomorrow were good, and then they all walked into one Fell Flame and some poison damage too from Gul'dan. I was like, whoop, that's the end of that engagement.
All right, Justings, though, is channeling the turn-in. He will be able to get this, and that is going to be the Web Weaver phase here for Team 8. Their first experience almost flat even. This has been a very close showing so far between these teams.
Let's see what the siege capabilities of Team 8 are. They could get aggressive knowing that they have Crystal Aegis if Diablo wants to posture pretty aggressively, but without Horrify for a few seconds, without Leyline Seal and Apocalypse too, that's been cut down a little bit.
It has been removed a little bit, and Prismaticism needs to be very careful.
No. That's all the stacks. He was not done.
So Medivh is going to get that Master's Touch reset there. But I was going to say that Prismaticism needs to be very aware of his positioning, because he does hold 38 of the gems here for Team 8, and if he gets caught out, especially pre-13, we heard Cattle complimenting that talent a little bit, that it could be really hard. Staggering 38 gems is just too much to ever consider losing.
He also has Catching Fire already, though, so when he activates that, he can get 25 armor, so that'll help a little bit, but you're right. Once you get 13, pairing that with Catching Fire, Ragnaros is nigh unstoppable.
Yeah, he's very difficult to be able to deal with here. 43 have been turned in, though, for No Tomorrow. As we do see, they seem to be all kind of gravitating here towards the mid lane. Urho is going to try and get that turn in down below. I do expect that Team 8 will be able to stop that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people to stall.
Got the scout.
Arng's watching. Zarya is up at the top too, so if one of them can pull the rest of the team down, then somebody might be able to get the turn in, because, well, it's not Trees who has enough to get Web Weavers for his team. Be Jason or Erho who could get it off of just one turn in.
And it looks like No Tomorrow is going to be forfeiting that territory for a small period of time, and that means Prismaticism is going to be able to rid of the 38 gems that he did have on him. That's a huge victory for Team 8. Even if they don't manage to really make anything happen, just knowing Prismat can be aggressive and not be a detriment to the team is a really a nice thing to be able to have on any melees here. Justing, confirming a turn in here. 9 more, not enough to finish it quite yet. But it's going to be 50. Team 8 has done a very good job of manipulating the map here over No Tomorrow.
They used their 13 advantage, knowing that No Tomorrow would probably want to press back, play the safe game, not engage into those 13 talents, and that gives Team 8 a second turn in a row. Team 8 have already taken out one fort. They would love to take down the top fort too if they could, because that is the boss lane, but I think they'll take whatever they can get to start opening up the map, getting experience, and maybe even getting a fight here, as Justing's pretty far in, trying to get Airho. Shielding is good. Leyline Seal hits a few. The follow-up Apocalypse, and the Sulfurous Smash. Trees is getting low, but everyone's staying healthy, and in the back, Airho is making a lot of members of Team 8 dance.
Yeah, the 3-man mosh pit was enough to keep his team alive. Nobody has died quite yet, but heroics have been used everywhere. Twilight Dream, the only one still left up here for Tiger JK. We'll see if Team 8, possibly if they get baited by a portal and a Twilight Dream is the response, that could be enough to turn it around. Web Weaver knocking on to the fort here. Detainment Strike to be able to back it out. Teammates not going to be able to get this fort, but there are Web Weavers in top and bottom that they can try and keep No Tomorrow off of.
That top fort is rapidly falling to the Web Weaver. Will not be saved. No Tomorrow are now in a position where there's no fort to keep them alive, to help save them too, versus the Web Weaver and members of Team 8. They want to try to take this out so they don't get any damage onto their keep towers, and finally Team 8 back off.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful play there. The Leyline Seal into the Sulfurous, into the Apocalypse was enough to be able to lock down a target and confirm a kill. And just do an insane amount of damage too. It was just, it's a synergy I haven't seen. The only team I've ever seen really get a huge pairing with Leyline Seal ever was Fnatic. At BlizzCon did it with Jaina rather well. Twilight Dream, though, was used and only going to be able to hit the front line. 2 targets going down. Glorong's Medivh is making sure that they aren't too worried about it.
Leyline Seal has always been in a position to try to save the team if No Tomorrow starts to get a good play, but so far the focus from No Tomorrow has been on Justing, and he's so tanky they can't burn him down.
Yeah, Justing is really smashing everybody's facing him from that frontline position. His health bars have managed, even when Tiger JK ends up getting a pretty solid root between Medivh and just having the Ariel Gul'dan, he's not really going anywhere. He's a force to be reckoned with for now. And again, there comes a shield, good portal over the wall there. Expulsion Zone using on the Prismat. Aegis, that's going to be the Horrified. That's way too many heroics going to be used here for Team 8. Not what you want to see as the Earthquake comes in and Prismat doesn't die.
Oh my god.
The portal shield.
How? His shielding, Medivh shielding, Prismaticism stays alive, even goes into Molten Core to save the fort and save his life from any more pushing from No Tomorrow.
That was
good synergy to keep him alive.
Yes, Glorong did a lot of really good things to be able to make sure he didn't die, but again, that Horrify APOC is not something you want to have together, one before the other there. But overall, it didn't cost them too much other than their cooldown. 16 tier has been picked up. Leyline Seal burnt out as Glorong is trying to regress onto No Tomorrow.
Well, Leyline Seal caught people, but there was nothing else to follow up. No Horrify, no Apocalypse, because it was used in the last fight, not even Sulfurous Smash. And this entire time, Web Weavers have been pushing into the bottom lane. No Tomorrow, as soon as they see people from Team 8 dealing with that, can go in and take out the rest of the fort in mid or in top to try as best they can to get to 16. Justin says, where are you going, Airho? Goodness, the 1-2-3 punch.
Yeah, that was a very good job using the CC there, using the overpower into the stun into the wall with the Detainment Strike. And now they're down a man. That puts, goodness, beautiful Fierce Smash onto Tiger JK, hits the stun, and he ends up going down. So very good aggression coming out from T8, and they turn just to go to the boss.
No ETC for 18 seconds, no Malfurion for 30. There's no hope for No Tomorrow to get this boss. They're going to have to figure out something else to do. Mercenary camps would be great. They can get some pushing into the mid, maybe even the bottom Giants, but I don't think they're going to have time for both of them. That will at least alleviate some of the pressure. But they didn't have gems to get a turn in. That's what you would hope to have on Tomb of the Spider Queens. You can get a turn in while the opponents are dealing with getting the boss so that it nullifies each other, but sadly for No Tomorrow, that wasn't an option.
I'm really scared for No Tomorrow after seeing how this game has played out so far, just because it doesn't feel like they have a total understanding of what they're going to be able to do in the team fights. Even when we see Team 8 making those, obvious stacking of heroics or things that you definitely don't want to make happen unless you absolutely have to keep somebody up. That makes me afraid with such a well-rounded comp already here in this series, but we'll see if it works out this time. That is going to be a very good root combo onto Prismaticism.
A lot has been used to try to get this Prismaticism kill. Crystal Aegis comes out, APOC, Leyline Seal 2, some combination of abilities. Mosh Pit is stopped by Diablo. Arrow's going to go down, blown up, and Prismaticism still stands.
Yeah, Gul'dan's damage is just too much for No Tomorrow to be able to deal with. Justin goes in, confirms that fort. Long should have a portal up here soon as Rag takes over that fort. He's like, I'll take that, thank you. And he's going to be able to get that harass. Very well done, Team 8 here. Just full control over this game so far. Glaurung has done a good job on the Medivh. His, negating of damage is done very well. I want to say, damage-wise, he looks too impactful so far. He still is yet to be able to even confirm the Master's Touch, but he's enabled Justin to really just be up in their face, and do Diablo things.
Right, and Prismaticism so far has been the target, and No Tomorrow uses everything on him and cannot kill him. So what's the switch up now? Focus on somebody else? Is there something going wrong off of that?
I can't help but feel like for No Tomorrow, a lot of it has got to be, well, considering the fact that Gul'dan is just so impactful right now, and they have a lot of, safety tools to be able to keep him up. So it's kind of, I think it's working a little bit more with the long fight, not trying to just get in open bursts because one Aegis has really countered the momentum, and then suddenly you have, or even a good Medivh shield, and suddenly things get a lot harder for No Tomorrow. So rather than full committing, longer team fights, I think, are something that they want to look forward to in their future. But that's going to be a Leyline Seal. Keep in mind, Bala was already picked off, though, and Trees looks like he's in a tough spot with 47 gems.
He's being body blocked by Prismaticism, the Ragnaros, for a long time. Thrown back over, but that kind of helps Trees get away even as he starts to run. Oh. Just kidding, stunned into the non-existent fort. That has gotta hurt. Drops a ton of gems too. The Web Weaver, the rest of Team 8 are about to bring down the first keep of the game.
Yeah, Team 8, not only that, they're about to get 20. It is picked up. The bottom keep is gonna be going down here as well with 2 people dead. The anti-core measures here for No Tomorrow are pretty good with Twilight Dream and Mosh Pit, and Team 8 has now set their eyes on it. The shielding is now going down. Urho's in a rough spot. Twilight Dream from Tiger JK. Detainment Strike to be able to peel. He's trying to make something happen here, but I think Team 8's got it.
Molten Core? Prismaticism Maze on Molten Core. That's Twilight Dream being used.
Yeah. APOC's going to be burnt. They can't stop.